Alright, tonight I'm going to be tying the bunny bugger. This is a fly that I've gotten from the Fishing with Flies website. It's a tremendous fly. It's a great smallie fly, great trout fly. Just very versatile, caught a lot of panfish on it. What I would categorize as a guide tie. It usually takes about 4 to 5 minutes to tie depending on how practiced I am. It's been quite a while since I've tied, so it's definitely going to be slower for me, but it's a very simple fly. You got three materials. You got your zonker tail, you got your dubbed body, I like the hare's ear plus dubbing, and then you got your hackle. For a hook, I've been using Orvis hooks for years now. I really like them. You can get them on sale, and usually they run a deal and you can get the hooks cheap. This is a size 6 4X streamer. Hackle, just use any generic. I usually go with like a grizzly wet fly hackle. Grizzly goes with anything, whether I do like a crawfish orange or I go this one will be a dark olive. It just pretty much works with everything. I use anywhere from 8 to 12 wraps of .035 lead-free wire, and today I'm actually tying with orange thread. I go with a thicker, this is a 210, so it's a real heavy thread, and going with the orange to kind of give it a hot spot. So start off by tying in my thread base and just get some coverage over the wire. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't need to, not too worried about the body profile on this fly, so you don't need to ramp it up and ramp it down from the wire, where on some flies you want to do that to give a real nice body shape. This one, to be honest, don't really care, just worried about speed and getting flies tied so you can get out on the water. Alright, got thread base in. Got it cut off there. Alright, so now basically grab a hunk of fur on the zonker strip and then just trim it off, and then just pinch it together, kind of work that fluff out of the base of the fur, and then tie it in. And then for the hackle, and just usually I'll kind of brush it out and make sure that I get all of it off. So then yeah, for the hackle, what I do is I always want, because the hackle always has a curve to it, it kind of wants to lean in one way. So what I always want to do when I'm wrapping the hackle, I always want the hackle to sweep back. So what I'll do is I'll see which way I want to tie it, and for this fly you don't necessarily have to pull half the hackle off, but it does make it a lot easier to tie. So then I just strip one side of the hackle, and generally I start with the smaller hackle in the back, building forward, and to tie it in, just give myself a good tie-in point. Alright, so I got the hackle tied in. So now we'll dub the body. Usually dub it pretty sparse, just enough so you can't really see the thread. Like I said, the shape of the body really doesn't seem to matter to the fish. This isn't a pretty fly, it's an ugly fly that it seems like, at least for me, all the ugly flies are the ones that catch fish, not the pretty flies. All the pretty ones I've tied are still sitting in my box because they just don't catch fish. I'll go one wrap just behind the hackle and start dubbing forward. You can see it's definitely not a beauty contest here. Dubbing around. This is probably the most tedious part of the fly. Getting the dubbing. Definitely the part I'm most out of practice on. Used to tie a lot and kind of gave it up for a few years. Used to tie pretty much every day or every other day and just got out of the habit and got busy doing other stuff, and trying to do these videos to get me back in practice and share a little bit of what I learned and flies that have worked for me. Like I said, what's crazy is I spent lots of time doing super crazy dry flies and find out flies like this and the good old pink squirrel are the ones that catch fish. Of course, to figure out how I tied my pink squirrels, I'll have to take them apart to remember how much wire I used and stuff, because it's been so long. But yeah, it's really, these simple ties are a lot of fun. You can get a lot of flies knocked out really quick, and it's especially great for beginning tiers because you can tie a really good fly, real easy tie, but yet you got an awesome fly that when you put a half hitch in there to hold the thread while I wrap the hackle forward, but you end up with an awesome fly that you can go out and catch a ton of fish on. Now as I'm wrapping forward, keep tension on it, and then make sure that the hackle stays so that it's going to be swept back so that it's not leaning forward. And I do get into the thick part of it a little bit, the stem and some of the fuzzy, but again, the beauty of it doesn't matter. Trim it off. Now I probably could trim off the tail hackle too. Probably should have trimmed that off right away, but it's alright. Go. Now, back to what I was going to do. Trim off the front. And there we go. Build up an okay looking, kind of a goofy looking head there. But like I said, that's alright. At least I didn't crowd the eye. I just do kind of a double whip finish. most simple fly, but man, do these things catch fish. I said you can go get big trophy trout, trophy smallmouth. I'm sure largemouth will hit the heck out of them too, but I tend to fish these a lot on the river. Give it a shot, give it a try, and let me know what you think. Cheers.